What is your addiction? Listening to audiobooks by Brené Brown really gave me a different outlook on my people-pleasing addiction. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Brené Brown. If you are wanting to change, I'd highly recommend any and all literature, TED Talks, etc. by her. She changed me and I'm all the better for it. I actually have the confidence now to tell people no without that fear of disappointing them. More importantly, part of why I was so addicted to people-pleasing was I thought it would make me ultimately feel better about how much I was giving of myself. It took me too long to realize the one person I was forgetting to help was myself. If you drink soda, definitely cut that out first and you will see a huge difference immediately. I'm 5'8" and was 225 in April of 2020 and now I'm 165, with 4 kids and 6 seconds under my belt. Literally, that's back when I was in high school, 8/9 second ago. Portion your meals. Obviously cut back on sugar shit. It sucks at first but when you get used to it, all the junk you used to love will disgust you. It did for me anyway. I wish you luck because it takes a lot of persistence and self-discipline. You will be miserable, you will be really fucking hungry but it'll be worth it. I used to eat 2 full plates of helpings of the adult plates for dinner every night. Now I eat on the salad plates and getting full almost every time. Still struggle with sugar but not nearly as bad as I was. Treat yourself to some fantastic protein. I recently started eating elk meat and my body has been loving me. I would definitely advise making an egg bake for yourself loaded with enough eggs to get 2-3 per day and a shitload of vegetables. I do that for the week to try and get good meals in. It's pretty much a quiche without the cheese. I don't really eat dairy tbh. Make sure you're recovering daily. Even if you don't work out, do like 20 to 30 minutes active stretching, cool down, before bed yoga. It will help with circulation. Also, I've got to get better about this, so help me out please. Wake up and do morning stretches or a yoga flow, kung fu, even just something to get the heart rate up in the morning. Self-love is important, so be patient and be forgiving with yourself, but don't excuse being unhealthy. I have faith that you can make a healthy change for yourself. Best place to start is to simply start buying either reduced sugar or no sugar alternatives to the sugary foods you currently consume. Yeah, some of this stuff may be more expensive, but usually not that much more and well worth the extra expense. After that, if you have done so already, start incorporating more fruit into what you already eat. They are a different kind of sweetness than sugar, but eventually you can have their taste preferences replace your current ones. And take solace in the fact that you can probably eat 5 times as much fruits or non-sugary foods than sugar-based one. I actually quit League this season. Been playing since season 1. The game just isn't fun anymore. There is so much damage in the game. Every game feels like a coin flip of who gets fed first. Then the game is over. It used to be who was better at team fighting won. Now it's just, whoever won jungle and rolled the lane first wins. Boring. Kinda sounds like something I'd read from Nietzsche or Sharon. In essence, your life is, in a radical sense, your own because you could end it but do not. Choosing not to is a great source of personal strength. My only warning is to find a personal reason for holding on, as assigning that responsibility to someone else isn't fair to them or you. In the end, people now have this idea that life is fleeting and therefore pointless and something worthless. Instead, it should stand to reason that exactly because life is short and fleeting, that what we value matters quite a lot. This very brevity of life makes it matter. In the grand scheme of time, what limited time and effect we have is therefore our only opportunity, and we actively choose to act on that opportunity, or not to, in every moment. If you'll wind up dead and gone anyway, why not act on them? Hey, me too. I pulled a hair after twisting it into a ball, but don't eat it. Luckily I've been getting help to stop. I spoke to my doctor and he went over some other symptoms I was having unrelated to hair pulling. At the time I was like, why are you asking these questions? And now he believes I have OCD and trich is just a small part of it. Obsessive thoughts greater than compulsion to pull hair. If you don't mind some unsolicited advice, speak to a doctor. Or if you can't access one easily, cheaply, you could try keeping a trite journal where you note down each time you pull it. Think about it. This helps you understand any triggers, see patterns. Also, try a mantra. So when you go to pull your hair, repeat something in your mind and clench your fist, not painfully, to stop yourself from pulling. For example, my mantra, embarrassingly, is Jeremy Renner hair, cause that dude has a fine head of hair. Stay strong. I'm addicted to fentanyl. My wife and I separated a little over a month ago and I've had no help, so I ended up in a homeless shelter and started smoking fentanyl to escape the nightmare my life has become. But now my life has a whole different set of issues and I haven't been able to do a thing to get off the fent. I used to be on Suboxone for heroin and it worked wonders, but the fent is just too strong and the subs don't work. Trying to detox in a shelter is extremely difficult and I found a new rock bottom. Damn, I never got into fentanyl, but I had used heroin for 5 years, a meth for 1, while also using heroin. I can't imagine how fucked up fentanyl is and how hard it is to stop. I really hope you're able to get clean and start your life over. I did, but only after I lost everything and got arrested for 2 felonies. Fortunately, the judge was merciful and put me into a drug court program instead of sending me to prison. I spent 4 months in jail, which helped with the detox. The rest was up to me. Been off them for 6 years. There is hope for you. I can't tell you what you're going to need to do to get better, but I'll keep you in my thoughts and hope that you find yourself in a better place soon. You deserve to have a comfortable, fulfilling life. Feel at least some of your pain, dude. So sorry about your wife and your living situation. Was addicted to perks for almost 2 years, graduated to dope for a year after that, and then I've been stuck on fent for about 5 years. I function. I don't look like a drug addict. I don't come off as one upon introduction. I have never felt so helpless in my life. I've tried to stop countless times. I put myself through full-blown withdrawal on what's become an essentially monthly basis. I don't want to keep using. I don't want to keep wasting the best years of my life. This shit is a plague. I've spent an uncountable amount of nights alone in tears, either wishing that every opiate on the planet vanished or that God would just take me. It is hell. I'm about 3 weeks off of it now after a short binge with about 2 months clean before that. I now have a pocket full of Xanax most of the time and smoke meth on a recreational basis, but despite how absolutely insane that might sound to some, it's become second nature for me. I have to start from scratch and completely grow up all over again without drugs there to save me from my negative feelings. I'm emotionally stunted, all but completely apathetic to most life experiences, and constantly afraid that I won't ever be able to do this life thing without some chemical to break my fall when I do indeed fall. I have to learn how to be an adult as if it's a brand new thing when I'm pushing 30. I lost the absolute love of my life because of who I become in the throes of active use. I am never not ashamed of myself. I haven't felt comfortable in my own skin in almost a decade. Dope has taken control of who I am and I curse myself every day for letting it happen. But I've never stopped trying to quit. I've never stopped trying to get my life back, and I'm still trying now. Getting off fent is a bitch. It's one of the most mentally, emotionally, and physically draining processes you'll have to go through. I've gone over a month averaging an hour or 2 of sleep a night. It takes even longer than that just to feel like you're baseline you again. But the color does start to re-emerge. The music does start playing again. I wish you luck, my dude. I am genuinely sorry you're going through this. From one addict to another, my heart goes out. As a bit of an expert in suffering through fent withdrawal, I recommend clinodine if you can get your hands on it. It cuts the physical withdrawal pain by like 50%. Dopamine-heavy stimulants like meth or Adderall do wonders for your mental state while going through it. Although that obviously comes with its own risks, I've never been drawn to anything, including meth, nearly as much as I'm to opiates. And this is the ticket right here. You need to give yourself at least 72 hours after your last fent usage to take a sub. We're no longer dealing with perk 30s where you could start to get the sniffles 8 hours after your last use and immediately take a sub to feel better. You gotta just sweat it out for 3 days cold turkey and then take your sub. Otherwise you risk precipice, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Just don't give up trying to get your life back, dude. If there's even a sliver of you left that believes you can beat this shit, then you don't have a choice. You will keep trying and you're bound to kick it for good one day. I feel like I'm almost there. I won't ever stop trying. I want more out of this life than to be imprisoned by my own hand. Sorry for the rant. It was as much for me as it was for you. 72 hours of blow your brains out agony and then you can jump on the subs again. 3 days and you can start to get your shit back in order. Do whatever you have to do, otherwise you know how this ends. And never stop trying, dude. Never give up on yourself. Good luck, you good for nothing junkie. I send you all of the love my dilapidated heart can muster. But not rocks. You are lucky. You have no fucking idea what rock addiction can do to a person. I've been addicted to rocks since 2000. I feel like rocks have souls. I love rocks. I collect rocks. I decorate my house with rocks. TBH, I used rocks to build my house. My wife and my ex-wife and my ex-kids hated me whenever I stopped my car in the middle of the road just to get some rocks from the ground. Fuck them. They don't know anything about rocks. I think I'm gonna divorce my wife. Fucking bitch stole my rock collections and she won't tell me what she did to my rocks. I think my rocks are probably expecting me RN to save them. But I can't find them. NVM, I need a new addiction. Coming home after a long day and pouring myself a whiskey and puttering around my garden with my cat and dog. Just being by myself outside, trimming bushes, watering plants, watching my cat catch bugs and my dog laying in the sun. I'm an introvert and I work with some wonderful and chatty people as well as interact with the public all day. By the time I'm home I'm peopled out and those 2 hours or so in the evening saves my sanity. Thank goodness my husband is a wonderful and understanding man, so he leaves me alone until I come inside for dinner. So, I guess I'm addicted to myself. Giving out free shit at work. It got me sued from Goodwill. They caught me and thought CCTV. They figured I had given out $3,800 worth of shit. I gave out a lot more than that. They sued me and I dodged the fines. Eventually I had a warrant out for my arrest, so I paid up. Now at my old job I find myself giving free stuff hourly. I don't know what's wrong with me after the fact. I'm always so paranoid that they will catch me. I need to stop, but something about capitalism rubs me the wrong way. I am posting this as a warning. I was addicted to benzodiazepines and alcohol for a few years. I am now in recovery and have since been sober, but I was heavily addicted to mainly Xanax, which is under a class of drugs known as benzodiazepines. They are for anxiety, panic usually, and give the user a high similar to alcohol without the shitty hangover feeling. Let me tell you that I am in no way trying to downplay any sort of harmful substance. From my experience as a chronic relapser, the worst drug by far, and I have been through both alcohol and benzodiazepine withdrawal, and benzodiazepine withdrawal is much worse and is the only drug you can actually die from withdrawals besides alcohol. They are actually very similar substances, as both control your GABA receptor, which allows you to relax. I was someone of high anxiety. I got addicted to Xanax very fast, which is nowadays being cut with fentanyl or something worse. I say this as a warning because all the media attention gets is on opiates, and I have had my fair share of opiate use but was never into them. Really wasn't my thing because they just made me feel really high. They didn't stop my anxiety like Xanax did. I've never seen a news article or report that discusses the dangers of benzodiazepines, which are so commonly prescribed. People need to know the dangers of them. They are extremely dangerous, and even when I went to rehab they couldn't believe I cold turkeyed my first week without having a seizure or dying. Once again, I am not downplaying opiates or saying that it should not get media attention. It should, as most pills nowadays are cut, but Xanax, benzodiazepines are a serious fucking drug and so easy to get addicted to. I was prescribed it and got it off the streets, and I almost lost my life to that stuff. It got so bad I permanently have some long-term withdrawal symptoms and require medication just to keep my nervous system calm. I have completely destroyed my nervous system by this, but I learned for the better. Especially today, everything is cut. If you believe it or not, my doctor is one of the best addiction specialists in the nation, and he is the one who tells me that today's pills are cut with meth or fentanyl, another opiate, and is killing more people. Stay away from benzodiazepines. Only use them if you are prescribed. I don't want to act like one drug is worse than the other, but I am just writing this to inform, and I hope this post helps someone. If you are going through addiction, do not quit cold turkey. Consult a doctor immediately. They want to help, and life does get better after. It's hard as fuck, but my life is way better now than it was when I was high all the time. Message me if you are having any problems, questions about addiction. I would be happy to talk. Cereal, preferably sugary ones, but any will do. I was a bit of a hungry boy growing up, but since my parents always made dinner so early, I'd end up at 9/10 p.m. wanting something to eat. Cereal was the easiest thing for me to make and made the least mess. Just a bowl and a spoon to wash, late at night, and if there was any in the house, I start to really crave them. At one point I realized I was eating cereal even if I wasn't hungry at all, but because not doing so made me really anxious. I go to food when I'm bored. I'm losing weight now and actually 5 pounds away from crossing from overweight to entering the healthy weight band. This isn't my first time, unfortunately, but hopefully my last. I'm seeking long-term lifestyle choices rather than just slashing calories and waiting to get back to the same old shit. Also addicted to Reddit. FR. Anytime there is more than 20 seconds of downtime, my hands have it opened before I even realize what I did. Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. It was probably about 15 years ago that I read the book. The physiological addiction of nicotine ain't got shit on you. It's the psychological reasons you smoke that have the hold on you. This book gives a simple explanation of the psychology of why you smoke, and then it tells you that by the time the book is done you will be done with smoking. You can even smoke while you read the book. I'm sure it will be just as effective with vaping. Edit for stupid autocorrect. I couldn't agree more. I've never done oxides, opiates, but I've been helplessly addicted to kratom for 5 years. I heard about kratom on a radio station one day in my car. I thought, why not? If it's legal and they're talking about it on a public radio station, then it can't be that bad. I was so wrong. 5 years later and I can't quit. It's literally ruining my life. I've turned into an empty shell of myself and drink 30+ grams of the green sludge. Been doing it every single fucking day for 5 years. I refuse to take it before work because I don't like the idea of being on a substance. Because of this I go through withdrawals every day. I have basically been kind of sick for 5 years because of this. After a certain point it becomes normal and my baseline is basically always being anxious and feeling physically awful until I take more. I take a tiny amount, 0.6 grams, at around noon to carry me over till I go home from work, and then the 30 grams throughout the night to carry me over to the next day. I could be off of it if I could take 2 weeks off from work to get through WDs. It would be shitty, but I know I could do it. The problem is I can't afford to, and I only get like 40 hours of PTO a year anyways. This includes holidays too. I would be such a better person if I could just get off of this shit. I could get out of the scrappy job and pursue a higher paying job and something I actually care about. Listen to this guy, don't touch the stuff. I got good grades in school, graduated college, and thought of myself as a smart and put together person. I thought I was above addiction and learned the hard way that I'm not. Transsexual porn. I had at least 3 real-life occasions to have sex with trans women without anyone of my entourage knowing, but I'm not even into it. When the actual thought about performing it passed by, I wouldn't even do anal sex with a regular woman. On porn sites thought, I don't know what it is, but it turns my freaking brain on for at least a minute. Porn decision is really a fucked up thing, since I finally decided to stop watching any porn anymore. My confidence and actual sexual desires went through the roof, and I'd suggest anyone who used porn at least weekly to try to stop it for a solid month or so to see the potential positive effects.